offensive line and people that just really want to beat the Rams. This is just an intuition thing. It doesn't. I'm saying by now they've been together long enough. Golf is young. I'm not going to underestimate the talent and potential that this defensive front has. And I think they might give him a run for his money, even though they have a lot of talent. To me, the Rams are a team that has some really good overall talent, but it's not a team that has a guy that cannot be stopped. Does that make sense? Like that you can't plan for. And I have this feeling that the Redskins might win this game. I can't really say, I can rattle off a bunch of players' names and stuff, but I can't really say it much better than that. They got some really talented players on their team, but I just think that they don't have Gurley, and that could make a huge difference. I think that's going to make a bigger difference than people think.
True, that's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Dujane, what do you say?
Yeah, Rams had some coaches move around and change, especially at the defensive side. They've got guys like Robert Woods on the outside. They got Cooper Kupp. I don't. They have Van Jefferson. But I don't see the running back that I don't see a Todd Gurley, is what I'm saying. I don't see anybody that you got to have both. And I love Sean McVay and I love what he does. But coming into Washington with that defense, I think they keep it tight. Right, they keep it tight. And then it's going to be on, the Redskins utilizing their run game, their weapon, their young quarterback to get wins. It ain't about, it's not about, blowing folks out, but sometimes you got to grind them out. And I see this team being just what I think Redskins fans, at least the ones that are my age and above saw with this team in years past of, you run the ball first, and of course there will be a lot of creativity with this offense, but it's also about being physical on both sides of the ball and defense. And I think that's the finesse it will have to be slowed down this week in this week's game when it comes to this game here. And I think the physicality will outweigh the finesse of the Rams, and they should be able to get a nice little win out of this.
Yeah, that's definitely what I miss, the physicality, the dominant defense, that be able to, dominate the game. You have potent offenses that, try to dictate the game and try to dictate the pace and everything. But when you have a defense that can, shut that down and take away their bread and butter, it changes the whole complexion of the game. And I love seeing that. That's what I'm hoping we're going to see with this team as a dominant defense going forward. Let's get into the next game, which will be the Giants. This is, to me, a funny stretch going that they have coming up, because they play the Giants 2 out of 3 weeks. And I don't recall ever seeing that before. But the first game in Week 6, they'll be going to New Jersey to face the 4-12 Giants with Daniel Jones in his second year. Eli came out and said that he feels like he'll be able to take over the team and be the team leader now that he's retired. He definitely showed promise. I know we made our jokes about him being drafted that high the year before and, whether they see him. But he definitely played well and progressed throughout the season. He did have some, bad games late in the season, bad reads, bad interceptions. But he's a young quarterback that's definitely going to try to improve, and they're definitely going to try to build around him. But I always say everyone hates the Cowboys and hate them the most. But to me, I hate the Giants, because no matter if the Giants suck or they're doing well, they always find a way to beat the Redskins. And that always blew my mind, that the Giants will find. Yeah, it's like they'll be 3-12 and nothing to look forward to, but they'll find a way to beat the Redskins on the last game of the season. The Redskins were trying to get in the playoffs or something. It's just crazy. But I'm never going to try to predict the especially division game this early. But what do you see from this Giants Redskins early rivalry first division game for the Skins this year? Dujane?
I think it'll be a good one. You know how I feel about Daniel Jones, and I stand by it. You made some key points there that I want to emphasize. First off, he played bad late in the season, but played great early in the season. Why? Because there wasn't any tape on his behind early in the season, right?
Yeah.
And once they figured out they had tape on him, and all those things that I spoke about this kid when he came out of the Senior Bowl, it was the same thing. But the coach wants to try to tell me that was the right pick. Where they picked him at? I'm sorry, I'm not buying it, and I'm still not buying it. Okay, so there's that. I still stand by the fact that, sure, is he serviceable? Absolutely. He has a lot of intangibles, but those are intangibles. He has yet to show consistency of putting that together. With this defense, I know they got Saquon, but I'll take my chances bringing my guy, Landon Collins, down in the box, which I probably don't have to. But if I really want to, I can put him down in the box with the rest of the seven, and then I'll let you throw over the top with your boy Daniel Jones that you're so high on that he's going to be the next. Like you're talking about him like he's going to be the next Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? And we're talking about Gettleman as well. Being involved in all of this and wants to blow this guy up. Hey, if you love the guy, that's great, but he is what he is. And I don't expect them to come out and do too much against this Washington team. Not from the quarterback position. Not at all.
Dan, what do you say?
So you're saying it's a loss? So you're saying it's a win?
Yeah, it's a loss for the Giants.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna second that emotion and say that the Redskins are gonna win this. First of all, I don't like their chances with a new with Joe Judge as the head coach. We'll say it that way, and Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator. And I'm not all that high on Daniel Jones either. But I also think that if I'm right and the Redskins pull out a win against Sean McVay and the Rams, that's going to be really big going into the next game, even if they are going to New Jersey. So I think this is going to be a win. I'm not. They didn't have a good season last year. I just can't argue with anything you said about the quarterback, DJ. I wasn't all that impressed with him. And the good news is for everybody in the NFL is that everybody's going to have this truncated season. And nobody's going to be able to get all their off-season workouts in. And they're coming off of 4 and 12 or whatever last year.
Yep.
I can't really, I think 4 and 12. So, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of psychological stuff that goes into this game because if they pull off this win against the Rams, I think it's going to start a momentum that's going to carry them for a few games. And then they have the Cowboys next in the bye, so that's kind of a lot to look forward to, and there's a lot to be motivated about. They'll be getting more cohesive, and just nothing really on the Giants team scares me all that much. Really, when Saquon, but I don't know. There's just not much that scares me about the Giants. So I'm going to say this is a win.
All right. Yeah.
I hate the record with them, and we've said that multiple years. Like you said, Carol, they're supposed to win a lot of games, and then they don't. But I think this might be different. The Redskins have Ron Rivera now and Jack Del Rio. They're both really experienced. I like their mindset. I like what I've heard from Rivera about how he's, making sure everybody's buying in. And I just think it's going to be I think overall it's going to be a different team this year with him. I really like that pick by Snyder. Really do.
yeah, definitely. I'm waiting.
Around the barrel.
Yeah, I'm eager because I've been saying it for the last 6 years how much coaching makes a difference, and I've had so many people argue me down, trying to blame Daniel Snyder, trying to blame whatever reason why the team wasn't functional under Jay Gruden. But I can't wait for, as you say, an experienced coach that's been there, done that actually has a game plan, that has a football mind, an NFL football mind, let me say, not AFL, but NFL, and knows how to stick with the run, knows how to game plan, knows how to make in-game adjustments, which we know the last coach could not do. So, I mean, for them to sandbag, that's why I was trying to tell fans, you can't equate the old team to the last 6 years of Jay Gruden to a new coach that actually knows what he's doing. So I can't wait for this season to go down, even with what's going on, because when the improvement happens, you know I'm gonna be on my soapbox with my chest out, calling out all them folks that told me I didn't know what I was talking about, because coaching plays a very key role in football. It's not just go on the field and knock somebody around. You have to have a coach to set you up for success. In the same way players have to develop, coaches have to develop also.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I can't wait. But okay, we already segue into the Thursday Thanksgiving big game against Dallas. No, hold up. I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. I got a little bit ahead of myself.
Yeah, right. No, that's your first game.
Yeah, the first game against Dallas. That'll be a home game. Dallas was 8-8. We spoke about them briefly earlier. They definitely are a quality team, even though a lot of folks hate them. They got Zeke. They got Dak under the franchise. I want to get your take on that. Both of you guys take on the Dak and Andy Dalton situation. You know, folks can put their own spin on it, but I see it as you're getting them on the cheap. Andy Dalton, you paying Dak 31 under the franchise, $31 million under the franchise. Might as well get a cheap backup that has experience. That if Dak gets hurt or whatever, you can bring him in. Dujane, how do you feel about that Andy Dalton pickup, and do you see anything wrong with them doing that, signing him? That do you think that they're doing Dak dirty or whatever, I guess is the sentiment I've been hearing?
No, I don't think they're doing Dak dirty at all. I say the same thing about this situation as I said about the Green Bay situation. When you look at Dak Prescott, you actually think if he gets hurt that Clayton Thorson is going to come in and keep things going? I mean, or do you want this dude, Big Danuke, is he going to come in and keep things going? Because I don't know. They had another quarterback that they released. Obviously, he wasn't good enough to keep. So I don't think that anybody had confidence in him. I mean, it's just like asking Tony Pollard to come in and be Ezekiel Elliott and keep that same pace if he gets hurt. That's not happening. So they needed a capable guy and a capable backup. And Andy Dalton reminds me of a Romo 2.0. He can throw touchdowns. He's pretty good at winning regular season games. He has not won a playoff game. But, look at the stats. The guy puts the ball in the end zone more than he puts it into the opponent's hand. Moves the offense pretty well. And if you need a guy to come in, let's say that doesn't decide not to show up here, and we're going to play this cat and mouse game of paying him or not paying him, which I think is absolutely absurd. You have a capable backup. If he comes and plays and he gets hurt, you have a capable backup. And one thing we forget in this league, and it seems to have been a forgotten art for a long time, is that in this league there are not too many capable backups on rosters. There are significant drop-offs at quarterback if your starter gets hurt. And Dallas did themselves a solid by getting a guy on the cheap that is not just cheap for the pockets, because we all know that they are strapped when it comes to money. But it's also a guy that can keep the offense going like a John Kitna.
Oh boy. You going back with John Kitna, boy.
And I know people say, John Kitna, but yes, John Kitna came in and managed the offense as well.
Yeah, he did.
Here and there when he was quarterback, all of those guys, he came in and ran that offense well, and that's what they got.
Yeah.
Somebody in this league, and it's something that Jerry has done that's been smart, along with their draft, which I really love their draft. offensive line is now like leaking like a sieve, and your quarterback has to run a little bit more, he's probably more likely to get dinged up or hurt, and he's going to miss a few games. And then you're stuck with Clayton Thorson. It's not a good look if you're trying to make playoffs, and we all know, as much as Jerry hasn't made the greatest decisions in past years, this team has the ability to make the playoffs if they can put it all together. Most fans feel in Dallas that it was coaching staff, so we'll see how it goes. But great pickup for them. Probably one of the smartest moves that they have made outside of trying to, even though I didn't like them giving up that many picks for Amari Cooper, that was probably the next best thing that they've done here with the franchise.
Mm-hmm. Diane, what do you think about the Dak Andy Dalton situation?
Well, I think that it was a really smart move. But first, that was a smart move for every reason DJ said. But DJ, you think the Redskins are going to beat the Cowboys?
Absolutely not. They're going to get swept.
Oh.
I know that.
Here's my reason, real quick. They have Michael Gallup, they have Amari Cooper, and then you add C.D. Lamb to that. And they have a capable coach that knows how to put talent on the field. I'm not a huge Mike McCarthy fan, but I will say that a running back of that capability is Ezekiel Elliott. I do like Tony Pollard and what he brings to the table. He reminds me of a Chris Thompson type running back. You add that with the likes of C.D. Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. Just those three guys. We ain't even getting into the tight ends. We're not getting into all the other stuff. That's enough right there. That's a lot to have to deal with, and he will know how to put those guys in position and scheme up things that will get the offense moving and doesn't make it stagnant. And he will be balanced, unlike Jason Garrett, who thinks that we can just willy-nilly, sandlot football, just toss it around, baby. Just throw it around and abandon the run when it's working. Just do something else because it's working. We don't want these things to work. We got to get cutesy. So I don't expect that to happen this year. I think there'll be a lot more sound. I think some of these little hiccups you see with the Cowboys over the past 20 years will start to dwindle a bit. Obviously, we know that Jerry, and I know a lot of fans that I talk to feel that as long as Jerry's there, kind of like the Al Davis thing, as long as he's there, they're not winning anything. But you got to give credit where credit is due, and I think they were a few pieces away and a coach away from being able to make noise, and I think they're way better head above heels. They have been over the last couple of years better than the Redskins. That doesn't mean they're going to get blown out like they have been over the years, but it'll be a competitive game. It'll be fun, but unfortunately, the Cowboys fans are going to have something to talk about for the next year at least. But hopefully, Redskins fans will have something to talk about as well when it comes to the record and improvement, and that's really what it boils down to: is improvement and looking like you're moving in the right direction and looking like a capable football team. And I think that they will. They just won't be able to beat this team this year.
Solid. What do you say, Diane?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a loss as well. Nobody's really talking about this new wide receiver that Dallas has, this John B. Johnson, but I really like him. I think he might be a good backup for Amari Cooper, and I really like the fact I love the fact that Jones brought in Andy Dalton, because I think it's kind of going to keep Dak Prescott, focused. I sometimes think he has a tendency to not be focused on everything that he's supposed to be focused on. And I think he's a really talented quarterback, but I think it's a great competition for him, and I think it's going to put him on his toes. And they just have a lot of talent. Amari Cooper amazes me, and Zeke just comes in and seems to have his way with the Redskins despite their defensive front. They may be able to put up a really good fight, but I just think it's going to have to be a loss. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to qualify all of this with, let's get through training camp and all of this could change. But, because we've not seen anybody do anything yet. And even when they're in OTAs and mini camps, we're still seeing them run around in gym shorts and T-shirts. So it's even hard then. This is just off the top of our heads, right? I mean, we're just looking at the records and the situation and the teams and their records and their players. And they just have a hard time with the Cowboys, and they know them really well. And I know Jason Garrett's not there anymore, and that's going to be a good thing for the Cowboys, in my opinion. So I think it's a loss. I like Mike McCarthy a lot, and I really like Mike Dolan as a defensive coordinator. So I think it's going to be, I think they're going to put up a really good fight, for Dwayne Haskins, and it's going to be a loss. Which is a drag going into the bye, because there's nothing worse than going into the bye with a loss. It just makes the next 2 weeks horrendous.
True.
But there it is.
Yeah, well,
what can I say?
I mean, with Ron Rivera as the head coach, we've seen some of his post-game speeches. So I think if they do, fall short, this is the perfect guy to have to, basically give them the real and not not sugarcoat stuff and make excuses, and he's going to hold them accountable. So it's definitely going to be a different feel. We're about an hour into the show. I'm having real technical issues. I done restarted the feed. Robbie done shared it out. I'm not sure how it's going to end up, but like I said, I'm going to get the whole thing out there. Anybody wants to call in and give it any comments, any concerns, always call the True Radio Hotline, 347-884-9299. We're just about halfway through the schedule already, actually getting into the game. The Giants, like I mentioned, they'll be playing. Go ahead.
Carol, I got about 20 minutes. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I got about 20 minutes.
All right, we're going to go into a speed round for the last games then. All right, you know how we like to get deep into these things. Round. Yeah, all right, we have the 4-12 Giants.
So fun.
Yeah, that'll be coming to FedEx. We already mentioned the Daniel Jones and the Saquon Barkley situation, and we think the Redskins will be able to handle the Giants. What do you say, Diane?
I think they're going to beat the Giants. I think they're going to sweep them this year.
Nice.
No, they're not going to sweep them. They're going to win this second. Yeah, they're going to win this game specifically because Ron Rivera is their coach. That's why. I mean, notwithstanding injuries or whatever might have happened in the first 8 games, or 7 games, they're coming off a bye. If they do lose to the Cowboys, they're going to be stung, TO'd, whatever. He's a great motivator. They have talent. Regardless of the losses, they have talent. I love Terry McLaurin. I love Dwayne Haskins. I don't have to tell you how I feel about the defensive front. We haven't even talked about Davis coming in now to play free safety with Landon Collins. And things are going to be coming together. They're going to have some time, to either lick their wounds or get even more motivated if they somehow do pull off a win against the Cowboys. And having lost to the Giants before, I think they're going to beat them this time. They're at home. Who knows what's going to be happening with injuries? I think they're going to beat them the second time they play them.
What do you say, Dujanet?
With Ron Rivera as the coach.
No doubt. Do you agree with that, Dujanet, that if they do take that first loss, that they'll rebound back and get that split that we've always seen to get with these Giants?
Yeah, I think so. But I feel like this will be the team that they sweep in the division.
Okay.
I just think they're better than them in a lot of spots. There are a lot of changes over there in New York. They've added a few pieces on the offensive line that will have to start for them. They're young kids. Then you add that with a young quarterback. I understand you have Saquon Barkley, but give me a wide receiver that scares me, and I'm sure you can. Not with what we have, not with what the Redskins have, secondary wise, front seven wise, and coaching staff. So I think this will be the team that they'll actually sweep in the division on.
Yeah, let me correct myself. I just looked back at my notes here, and I did have them beating the Giants the first time. My bad.
All right.
Sorry about that. So, yeah, you're right, dude. They sweep. It'll be their first and only sweep.
Yeah, I would love to see them sweep the Giants.
Years.
Yeah, I would love to see them sweep the Giants. That'd be great. Next game is actually on my birthday, the 15th, where we facing the Lions in Detroit, who finished 3-12. And I'll let you guys take it away since we're in the speed round. I always give my predictions always later on. Dujane, what do you say about this Lions game with Stafford coming back after the start that he had to the season and ending prematurely due to injury? What do you say about this game?
Well, if Stafford is here, I say coaching-wise, I believe that this can be a win for the Lions. I think it's a loss for the Redskins, and it's nothing to do with it. Matt Patricia. I saw something on Matt Patricia at the Senior Bowl, and when I get to Cincinnati, I'll tell you that story too. But he had his guys prepared, and I don't think people really realize how hard it is for these coaches to prepare in such a short period of time and get all these different players together to formulate a game and make it look like a game, not like some kind of like all-star, just out here running a bunch of plays and not look organized. I thought Matt Patricia did an excellent job, and if he has Matthew Stafford, I think that's the thing. I don't like to use the word X factor, but I think that's the deciding factor there in the game. It'll probably be something late, hit something, big or whatever. I like the way he coaches. I like how he has his guys prepared, how physical they are. I think this will be a team that will be very well underestimated, especially if they can, I know he kind of rubs people the wrong way as well. So, obviously unity is a big issue. Team unity is a big issue, especially with the shortened off season and all of that. But I like what he does, and I think it'll be a loss for the Redskins. I'm not going to say it's going to be awful. It's just they're not going to win this game. I think it'll be the Lions.
All right.
I'm going to jump in here and say I think the Redskins are going to win, and I only say that because I think I'm hoping that they're going to be coming off, just like really building their, having gone through the whole season. I'm hoping they're going to be building on their momentum, and I know I know that the Lions have a Pro Bowler in their Kenny Galladay, receiver, and Matt Stafford is a real pro, and he's going to be really motivated. And I love their first-round draft pick cornerback that could give, if he's playing. I mean, I don't know. Jeff, what's his name? How do you pronounce it? Jeff Okuda? I'm trying to remember. I can't find my. Yeah, is that right? He's good, but I don't know. I'm just counting on. Part of my research just in the whole season has been doing a lot of backtracking on Ron Rivera, and I just think I'm so tickled about him as a coach for this team. And if the wins have built up the way I think they could, I think they're going to just be getting better and better, and the Lions could be the recipients of a pretty good, motivated team, coming off their second win at home. I know they're traveling to Detroit, and please don't think I'm predicting a win every game out from here. But I think that Detroit's mediocre at best, and the Redskins might be better than we think. So I'm going to say it's going to be a win.
All right, and we're going to the next week. They have Cincinnati at home, ended 2-14. I know Chase Young said that this is one of the games he has circled on his calendar, going up against the number one pick in Joe Burrow at quarterback. Dujane, what do you say about this game? And let's get your story about the that you had for us about Cincy.
I'm not impressed with that. Zach Taylor, I'm not impressed with. I felt that his team was the least prepared in the time given, and I understand the difficulty. Don't get me wrong there, but you're an NFL coach, and it's your job to get these guys prepared, and it's not like you have to give them intricate things to do or intricate plays to run. This is simple stuff, and those guys, that is the least prepared team I've seen at a Senior Bowl
do you say, Diane? Hello? Did I lose you, Diane? Uh-oh. Let me check the board. Like I said, I've been having some technical difficulties. Make sure I didn't lose.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it still shows. Her call must have dropped. Uh-oh. Well, we'll see if we can get her back on. Oh, there she go. That was fast. Hey, Diane, you back with us?
I am.
All right,
I don't
cool.
know what happened there. That was weird.
Hey, I said the same thing, but I know your time is short. Let's go ahead and get to the Cincinnati 2-14.
Yeah, I'm going to put that down as a win for the Redskins. I totally agree about Zach Taylor. And we got a new quarterback with, a young quarterback with Ryan Finley and Joe Burrow. I'm going with the momentum and the defense that I think the Redskins are going to have. I 2-14 last year.
Yeah.
Did they have any improvements this year? I was looking at their draft, and I just don't. They didn't, except for Joe Burrow. They got a wide receiver in the second round and a linebacker. That's good, and everybody needs those positions, but I just don't think they're that good. They need some time.
All right, then we have the big Thanksgiving Day game, Redskins Cowboys in Dallas. Diane, what do you take away from this game?
I'm taking away a loss. I can't help it. I'm so sorry. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I think they might be a little bit too big for their britches. And the Cowboys are really good. And, as we get deeper into the season, and you want to be playing better, towards the end of the season, and they had the bye just pretty recently, but I just think that they always play the Cowboys tight, and you just never know what's going to happen. I'll qualify it again with who knows, but my first instinct is to call it a loss.
All right.
Just because of history, and history. I'm going to say history.
Yeah, I know, dudes. You already said it's going to probably be a lose to the Cowboys twice, but we know how those in Dallas Thanksgiving games go. I'm gonna stay optimistic. I think they can pull that one out. Now I just got to break the trend. I'm sorry, I couldn't let those two ride. I had to throw it in there. But next up they have going back-to-back road games again. This is a tough stretch to have 3 back-to-back road games. They have going to Pittsburgh 8-8 with that dominant defense and Ben